One episode in particular that sticks out to me, you were up against Nurk, and I believe it was 2019, and did he bring a picture of your mom, or what was going on there? I can't even really remember the details.
I remember the details very well. What happened, for context for people who maybe didn't start watching DRL until recently, is 2019, Nurk was the defending champion. I came into the first race of the year, won. Nurk won the second race. I finished second. And then most people don't know, we actually did an exhibition race in New York City. And it was, at this point, the season had not yet started airing. It had been announced yet, but we had already flown the first two races.
Yeah.
And so we all knew. But this whole thing started when we went to New York City and we did this exhibition race, and my mom was there, and he went and took a photo with my mom, and he of course he knew what he was doing. He was thinking multiple steps ahead. It's why Nurk is a world champion. You have to be thinking multiple steps ahead. But yeah. I remember in that race, again, never really aired, but we had a couple thousand people in this venue watching. It was a big drone race, and I remember, I think right before we walked out for the finals, it was Gab, Nurk, and I. The whole week, Nurk, Gab, Jet, they got all the interviews, they got all the attention, all the spotlight. Of course, these guys are the champions, the big names. I'm just the rookie Vanover, and no one cares about me. And that really hurt my ego. That really hurt my pride, because I knew that not only was I better than these guys, but I already been winning throughout the season. They just hadn't been public yet. I couldn't go tell interviewers like I'm actually, going to be a world champion kind of thing. Right. And so right before we walked out on stage, I remember telling Nurk, I said, "I'm so glad that you made it into the finals here." And he's like, "Yeah, why is that?" I said, "Because I get to beat you in front of every single person here who thinks you're the best, and they're going to think I'm the best when it's all said and done." And that's what happened. Definitely, a very egotistical moment for me. But, listen, I feel like one thing I'll say on that is that part of me has not necessarily changed. I've certainly matured, but, I definitely think that self-belief is really important in any sport and any competition. And that was just me speaking what I felt like to be the truth. It could be considered arrogant, cocky. It's up for debate. But so Nurk obviously probably took that pretty personally. And so we show up to the next race in Minnesota. And I feel like I have a pretty strong mental game, especially against these guys at the time. And Nurk pulls out this photo right before we start the first heat of semifinals. He should have saved it for the golden. He didn't make the golden heat, but he should have saved it for the golden heat, because that would have probably guaranteed him a win. Pulls out this photo of him and my mom. Maybe we can even get it on the screen here. But long story short, that I didn't even try and fake that it didn't bother me, because it was like one of the few times I can look back at my drone racing career and be like, the armor was penetrated. Yeah. And I remember, I think up until that point, and this is including the first two levels of DRL, I don't think I'd ever DNF'd out of a heat. That's got to be a record. I always finished a race, and I just went straight into the start gate. And I didn't even try and turn. I just remember, as I'm going into the start gate, I thought about that photo, lapse of concentration, boom, drone exploded. Craig and them are like, I get to hear them commentating like, "Oh, maybe that did get in Vanover's head," and stuff like that. And it's like, I won't deny it. I won't deny it. That was probably one of the best, what do you want to call it, pranks or mental warfare games that I've ever seen played. Right. And, fair play to him. Nothing against Nurk. He's one of my favorite people in the whole industry.
Yeah, I'm a huge Nurk fan. I got his jersey back here, and he's a stud. But that was, of all the moments, I love drone racing, obviously, but I love to actually get to know the pilots and to know the stories. And that's one of the things that has always stuck out to me is man, that's, like you said, he's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. That's good thinking. If you're enjoying what you've seen so far and want to hear the full conversation with Vanover, make sure to check out the entire interview over on my Patreon. Just click the link in the description below. But if you're not ready for that and still want to support the channel, you can also help by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Your support really makes a difference and helps me keep bringing you more content like this. Thanks for watching.